All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our February 22nd, 2023 LEF2 board meeting. I'd like to call it to order. And let's go ahead. Let's take a moment of silence to remember our fallen brothers and sisters, as well as those in our military. All right. Thank you very much. Looking at our agenda, it looks like we're going to go ahead and start off with Executive Director Nelson.
Okay. The legislative update will be done by Jacob. And then as soon as you're ready.
Okay, so for the record, Jacob White, staff to the board. Going to be a brief update today. Friday is the fiscal cutoff. So we're paying close attention to all the bills affecting LEF2 leading up to Friday. First, just good news that the one LEF2 bill this session has already cleared that first hurdle. And in fact, the House version of the no-cost interruptive military service bill has already passed out of the House and has been referred to Senate Ways and Means. The Senate version has passed out of Ways and Means and is awaiting floor action in the Senate. So it's still got some time before that cutoff. Other bills that we're keeping an eye on this session that potentially impact LEF2. The first is House Bill 1279, ensuring promoted firefighters remain in LEF2. This bill has been scheduled. It had a public hearing in Ways and Means and has been scheduled for exec on Friday. And it is, I should add, it's as of right now, it's at least on the top of the list, or it's one of the first few bills on Friday. So I know a lot gets scheduled for that hearing and not everything gets heard, but it is pretty high up on the list. And the House version, no action has been taken on that. So it's still sitting in House Appropriations and has not been scheduled for a hearing or for exec. Also, we're keeping an eye on concerning flexible work for general and limited authority Washington peace officers. That's House Bill 1413 and Senate Bill 5424. And this would allow for part-time general authority and part-time limited authority law enforcement officers. So that could change the makeup of LEF2 in that part-time law enforcement officers would be eligible for LEF2. But they would still need to be general authority. It would not allow in limited authority officers into LEF2. So that bill, the Senate version has been scheduled for a hearing today, and it's already been scheduled for executive session on Friday, I believe. The actuaries have completed a fiscal note on that bill, and their fiscal note is indeterminate. They did work with us a little on determining that, on reaching that conclusion. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that one. And the House version has not been scheduled for action in appropriations. So it did pass out of the policy committee, but no action yet in the fiscal committee. And then allowing tribal law enforcement officers to join LEF2. There was just a House version of that bill, no Senate version. It has passed out of the House, so it passed out of the fiscal committee and has passed out of the House and been referred to Senate Ways and Means. And then there's creating an ombudsman at DRS, Senate Bill 5625. So I think I spoke about that bill a bit at the last, or maybe I haven't spoke about that one. I just am confusing that with the updates I send the board. So the creating an ombudsman at DRS creates an ombuds office at DRS, and then that bill also addresses a number of administrative issues at some of those regarding LEF2, some regarding PERS members. That bill did receive a public hearing in Ways and Means, but as of right now, it has not been scheduled for any action, for executive action in Ways and Means. And then another bill was allowing members separated due to the vaccine mandate, who have since been rehired or are rehired at a future date, to purchase service credit in LEF 2. And so that bill did not receive a hearing. It was referred to Labor and Workplace Standards Committee, but did not receive a hearing. So those are all of the main bills that impact LEF 2 that we are keeping an eye on. So if there's any questions about any of those, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Any questions for Jacob? Jacob, can you just real quick just touch again on the promoted firefighters, the House Bill 1279? Where are we in status? Just want to make sure I can track that one right.
Yeah, let me just make sure I got that right. Okay, so the Senate version of that bill has been scheduled for executive session on Friday.
Can you give me the Senate bill number just so I have it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, 5468.
Okay, 5468.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. And the House version has not been scheduled for anything.
Got it. Any other questions? Not seeing any questions. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Jacob, for your work. Thanks for the updates too. Very helpful. All right, Mr. Nelson.
On the administrative update, the first thing I wanted to talk about is outreach activities. The State Council of Firefighters and WACOPS both recently had their legislative conferences here in Olympia. And those, we were invited to speak at both of those and ask or answer any questions that members had about LEF bills this session. So I presented at both of those. The Fraternal Order of Police has a ledge conference in Olympia coming up in the next month. They reached out to me for availability, but at this point in time, I'm not sure if I'm going to be answering questions for them or not. Right now, that's it for outreach activities. Are there any questions?
Not seeing any, Steve.
Budget update. The most recent report on expenditures was sent out to you. Shows that the board is under budget, and but I'd be happy to answer any questions about any of the specific, or Tim's here to answer questions about any of the specific items on the budget, if there are any.
Anybody have any questions for Steve? I'm not seeing anything, Steve. Apologize. I hope I'm not missing anybody. Yeah, not seeing. Okay. All right. No questions, Steve.
That includes then the administrative update. Or if there are any questions about any other topics, the next meeting of the board is scheduled for March 29th. That is also expected to be similar to this meeting, which would just be an administrative update and a legislative update. No action items.
All right. Does anybody else have anything else for the board or for Steve or Tim, Jacob, or anybody else on the team? Okay. Not seeing any. I would thanks to all of you for your work. Thanks for the time everybody gathering together. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Hey, thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, we are adjourned, and we'll see everybody on March 29th at 9:30. All right, thank you.